You're listening to the Major Pod Network, the only place where your favorite toy store, bar, arcade, and arena are all on the same block. Scratch that major itch.
Today on the Game Marks podcast, we play WWE Legends Royal Rumble card game thanks to Mega Mark Tekker. Will this game hold up today? Will we play it forever? Woo! Or future endeavor?
You're fired!
All of this plus gaming news and Clash at the Feast. Plug in and put on those nostalgia goggles because this week's Game Marks podcast starts now! And now, the Game Marks!
Welcome to the Game Marks podcast presented by the Major Pod Network. My name is Mr. Anything is Feasible, George Feis.
And I'm the man they call Johnny Clash. And today we're switching it up. We're not playing a video game today. We are playing WWE Legends Royal Rumble card game thanks to Mega Mark Tekker. He chose this game. I grabbed this game. And we're going to see what it's all about.
Oh, I'm excited for this one. And as always, guys, we love to hear from you. So please leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and make sure to subscribe and rate this podcast wherever you choose to listen. And join in on the conversation on all forms of social media at Game Marks Pod and our Patreon, patreon.com/GameMarksPod. John, what is going on, man? I feel like I haven't talked to you in like a whole week it's been.
It's been a while because we recorded a little early last week, but we did play SmackDown vs. Raw 2009, which, chef's kiss. That was such a good game to play. You know what really got me was the social media response to it. People saying, like, this game was underrated. This game didn't get the credit it deserved. This game was good when, back then we didn't think so. I don't remember this game being like crapped on in 2008. I don't remember it being like one of those underrated games. I remember people liking it, especially like people I spoke to. I remember everyone playing it and liking it. I didn't think it was one of those games that people didn't like when it came out, but then you go by what Leaper said, where he said the sequel usually pays for a bad game. So I guess 2008 was so bad that maybe 2009 didn't get the best response.
Yeah, well, you look at it this way. If this game came out today, obviously 2008, 2009, social media is still a thing. It's maybe not as
that was the year I joined Twitter, I think.
Yeah, but maybe it's not as prevalent as it is today, but like it's a thing.
Yeah.
You could go out there and voice your opinions and stuff. But I'm thinking now, if this game in the state that it is in, functionality and all that stuff comes out with like 2021 graphics. Yeah. How is this game received? Is this like, holy shit, this is like one of the greatest wrestling games of all time? Because if you think mechanically and presentation wise, this checked a lot of the boxes of the things that we talk about that were like, oh man, I wish these features were in current games. So it's like an interesting thing to think about. This game comes out today, same features, same roster, just updated graphics. How would this be received in 2021?
Yeah, I think people are kind of clamoring to go back to this old style of game, but we'll see what happens when 2K22 hopefully comes out this March. But let's talk about what we have going on this week, because today you get the show ad-free on Patreon. Tomorrow you're getting the show notes and the return of GMP Game Over. We started back up last week. We've been playing through AKI Evolution. It was a good time. I liked it. That is back on Patreon. Oh, Wednesday, Future Endeavored. George. What does Triple H say? Are you ready? Last week I played Wrestle War. This week, I'm sorry, buddy, you're playing Wrestle War.
Watching you have to struggle through that, and then knowing that I have to play it.
Do thumb exercises before you play. I'll tell you that. Everything is tug of war style.
So I'm in a very fortunate situation where when we're playing the same games, you started us off, so I get to watch you play through the game first. And I'm like,
damn it!
All right, well this is how John felt about this game, and he's going back now and he's replaying it. And I'm like, okay, well now at least I know what to expect. I don't think I've ever dreaded going back and playing a game after watching you play more than this game.
And that's on Patreon. And I mean, next week, we're both going to be playing the same game too, but we'll get to that next week. Wednesday night, you do your normal Twitch stream, which is always a good time. Thursday, we like to put out a little bonus. Sometimes it's just simply playing through an old like NES game. Sometimes it's just talking. I put out a Create a Pro wrestling vlog for Halloween Hausen, where I last minute got swapped into the match with Brian Myers and Dan Hausen. It was such a good time, such a good house, such a good show. We streamed it on the Major Pod Network Twitch. If it's still there as of yesterday of this recording, it was, and I watched it. Go check it out. It was great. I assume we're going to replay it again at some point. And going forward, December 12th, we got the Broski. Broski's coming back to Create a Pro, and that will also be streamed probably on the Major Pod Network. Now,
you taking a Rough Rider?
No, not again. I don't need my head bouncing off the mat again. That Friday, Clash and Burn. And this week we actually watched my Impact debut from 2017. That was a fun match. And Lunchtime Heat, that's my new streaming on Friday nights around 12 or 1 o'clock. And we played through some Miles Morales as I try to complete the game. It's funny because I've been doing some of like the side missions. And I went from like 62% to like 75 just by doing like 2 side missions where they're mostly talking. It was kind of weird. But.
Well, because the bulk of the game is, the story mode is where you get all like the cool unlocks and stuff. But in terms of like percentage, and this is for most games, the side quests are usually the bulk of the percentage.
I got to get those done before I even step into like the main quest.
And it makes the end game a little bit easier because you're a little more geared up.
Yeah, but that's what we got going on this week. Georgie, tell us about the Streamer Spotlight.
A streamer spotlight for the month of October is twitch.tv/HuffDat42, HUFDAT42. Good friend of mine, been playing everything from New World to Rock Band, plays Fortnite, plays Diablo 2 Resurrected. He is the quintessential variety streamer, got a little bit of something for everybody, and is an all-around good dude. Make sure you go and check him out, twitch.tv/HuffDat42.
Love it.
But John, let's talk a little bit about our YouTube channel because, boy, oh boy, are we so close. Remind me again, when we announced that we were doing the Legion of Doom video game retrospect, we were at like what, 300?
We were at 290. And
290.
As of right now, we are at 381. So we are so close to hitting that 400 mark. And when we do, we will drop the video game incarnation. No, I don't want to say that. We know people who do that. The video game history of the Legion of Doom, the Road Warriors, Hawk and Animal. I cannot wait to do this. But yeah, actually, last week, in place of GMP64 on Thursday night, we put out Day of Reckoning, the playthrough. I started from scratch. I made my character. I made Johnny Clash and Day of Reckoning, and we're going to go all the way to the end here. I got most of it going right now, so we'll see what happens.
I actually have something on deck that I'm going to start recording myself as a little playthrough.
Day of Reckoning 2?
Oh, no. We're going to... I got an idea. I'll let you know. We'll see what if I can actually make this work the way that I want it to. But, I'm inspired by you doing the playthrough. And I was like, you know what? This is a good idea. I want to do this too.
Yeah. Hey, the more the better. But all right.
Hey,
are you ready for some gaming news?
It's been a bit of a busy week here. So let's hear what we got going on.
All right.
Are you looking to get a better grip on life? How about your video games? Well, VGF Gamers are the largest silicone gaming brand in the USA. They have a variety of different and unique skins for the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One controllers and consoles. Check out their products at VGFgamers.com and use code GameMarks to receive 15% off your order at checkout. That's GAMEMARKS at checkout. VGF Gamers. Better grip, better style.
All right, so we're gonna do this a little differently this time, Georgie. I think we're gonna just talk about some gaming news rather than read it off, because there's some stuff here that I think we should discuss. So let's kick it off with GTA. Grand Theft Auto, we mentioned it a few weeks ago, the trilogy, the definitive edition is coming out November 11th. It's got the $60 price range. Are you getting it? Are you buying it? Play it forever? Future endeavor? What's the deal here?
All right, so here's my take on this. If you watch the video that they posted on YouTube
7 times, yes.
I'm trying to think of which I would be more excited to play. Like, out of the 3.
So I'll say this. I was an Xbox kid growing up, so I didn't have any of these until they put out GTA 3 on the PC, so I played that. And then GTA 3 and Vice City came in a 2-pack for Xbox eventually, so I played the crap out of those. I have never played San Andreas other than like picking it up on a friend's console and running around and like shooting people.
So San Andreas, I actually think, is out of the 3, arguably the best.
Yeah.
And just in terms of like,
got to do those push-ups, right?
Well, I was gonna say aside from that, but like the development and like how you know they build upon the things that were already great within GTA. Like the driving and the car handling is a little better than it was in the previous version. This GTA San Andreas introduces bicycles, which is for some reason I thought was fun. But then there's that whole like RPG aspect of it where you have to like eat food and work out.
Yeah.
And that's the part where I was just like, okay, maybe I didn't need this part, but like everything else about the game is great. It plays well, handles well. There's just that one little kind of asterisk on it where it's just like, this is a small blemish on an otherwise perfect game.
So I think for me, it's going to come down to, is $60 worth it to really play through one game and then put my nostalgia goggles on for the other 2? I get that they're reskinned. They look prettier. They don't look that, like, they look good, but not like tremendously overdone, you know? Like, they just look updated.
That was my other thing.
Yeah, they just look updated. They're not, I don't know, but what do you expect, honestly? They're not going to sit there and redo these large-ass games. But
just build these games out on the GTA 5 engine.
Oh my God, imagine. But yeah, that's my dilemma. $60 worth San Andreas, or do I just find an old used copy and pop it in a PlayStation 2?
Yeah, I mean, either way, there's really no wrong answer here. There are some people who are going to absolutely buy into the nostalgia factor. I know that, you know, when this got announced and I watched this video, immediately I was like, well, I have to get this because,
yeah,
you know, it's GTA.
I'm going to end up getting it. Who are we kidding?
Yeah, it's just one of those things where, like, if you have GTA 5, do you really need to go back and play the other ones?
That was another thing.
If you're going to go back and play the other ones, do you need to rebuy the remastered versions just to get a little bit better graphics?
No, I mean, I still would like to go back and play 4, but that's besides the point.
Yeah.
All right, what's this next one here, Georgie?
All right, so there's people do some internet sleuthing and they find some information about some IPs, and it turns out that Warner Brothers has filed trademarks for a bunch of Rick and Morty characters.
Ooh.
Now, you know, if you're familiar with how trademarks work, you have to trademark things in certain areas.
Right.
So it looks like the Rick and Morty characters have been trademarked for video games. So it looks like a standalone, you know, they already have the mobile game, Pocket Mortys.
Yep.
There may be something to this where now maybe a console release of a Rick and Morty game is coming, or, you know, maybe it's something more than the VR game that came out for the Oculus and Steam VR. It was maybe 2-3 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we're looking at a full console release for this.
Listen, if it's anything like the Simpsons game, like the Simpsons game, not saying like a Simpsons game, the Simpsons game that came out, I think it might have been the last one that even came out. Then
Hit and Run?
No, the Simpsons game. The like grand finale Simpsons game that had like you play through each character. It's a story. You play as Homer and you play against God and Guitar Hero at the end.
Oh, yeah.
That game was beautiful. It was great. The story was great. If it's anything like that, then sure, bring it on.
Oh, man. Oh.
But if it's like South Park for N64, take it back.
Yeah, no, I don't want that. But the cel-shaded graphics, man, I'm such a sucker for those.
Yeah, we'll see what they do with it. It's always like a fine line of if it's going to look nice or not if it's a cartoon game.
Yeah, I feel like we're at a point now, though, with like game development and game design, where if there's a cartoon-based element, especially if it's going to be something as, you know, I don't know if I'd necessarily say that that Rick and Morty are iconic yet, but there's
they're there.
Cult, yeah, it's a huge cult following. It's a very well known show that I think with something as big as Rick and Morty, they're going to have to make it true. You know, there's a certain art style that goes with it.
Yeah, for sure. All right, now the other thing is October 27th, the PlayStation State of Play. We might be getting some Gotham Knights and, do you feel it? I feel it. Hogwarts Legacy, some gameplay, some trailers. Man. Now, this is my thing. I don't have a PS5. I don't really plan on getting one. That is my only way to play the Hogwarts game right now. Well, that's a dilemma because I very much want to play that game.
Well, so the Hogwarts Legacy, rumor has it that it's going to be a multi-platform release.
That would be fantastic.
I think it's going to launch on the PlayStation. Okay, so let's take a step back a couple weeks. Maybe it's like a month ago. We were talking about the console exclusives and how like that's kind of like a it's like a make or break. Either you love it or you hate it. There's no like, I could take or leave it. Like you people have opinions on console exclusives. What we failed to touch on then is, I guess, another variant or iteration of how that's evolved over the years. And that's these delayed releases where you'll get, the Hogwarts game that's being developed by Avalanche will sign an exclusive deal with Sony. And let's say that game comes out in March of 2022. It'll release in March of 2022 exclusively for the PlayStation. And then maybe a month or two later, it'll come out for the Xbox, for the PC. So like it's exclusive for a period of time. And that's something that also has been happening over the last, I don't know, maybe like 5-10 years, like these delayed console releases. And I think
pretty much what I just said happened with GTA in my childhood.
Yeah, it's a very interesting thing that like I feel like was the next step of evolution with the console exclusives. Like it was like, okay, well, it's not going to be only for one console. It's just going to be like a delayed release on this other one.
Yeah, well, I'm excited either way. But I think this last one here, I think you have to take this one because there's going to be some varying opinions on this one.
Yeah, so depending on where you sit with your opinions on the Star Wars prequels, and if you've been following along with the Disney Plus series, it looks like Hayden Christensen is coming back to the Star Wars franchise, but this time he'll be coming back for the Ahsoka Tano TV series, or the Disney Plus series. Now, there's no real information in what aspect he'll be playing, what role, if he'll be Anakin, if he'll be Darth Vader, if he'll be maybe he'll be doing both. But if I'm not really sure how this sits with me. I'm a huge Star Wars fan. It's been well documented on the podcast, and
it goes back to Boba Fett being in The Mandalorian. It's like it's changing a timeline, and I feel like that's kind of what the original Star Wars, not the original, the episode 1, 2, and 3, and some of the new ones, like kind of never sat right with me. Like you're changing stuff as you go, which changes the way you look at older stuff. All right, I'm going to use this example. This is not comparable at all, so don't come crucifying me. No. I think it was The Conjuring. There's a second or the third one where they it's not The Conjuring. It's one of those types of movies where the second one completely changes the story of the first one.
Oh, okay.
So now when you watch the first one as a standalone movie, you're like, but this doesn't make sense anymore. And I feel like there's some stuff in Star Wars that does that. But I'll say this. Hayden Christensen might have gotten flag, he was in the re-release as Darth Vader's ghost in the end, which people are like, oh, why did they swap it out? It makes sense to swap it out. It's good to have a face to Anakin, and it's good to have a face to Darth Vader now. You're not going to get James Earl Jones.
But It wasn't.
It was his voice. It was his voice. I know, but you're not going to get whoever the hell the actor was who was in that for what 2 scenes? His death scene and then as a ghost. That was it. Correct me if I'm wrong, because I know you will.
No, they did. So here's the thing. You're right. They did replace Sebastian Shaw with Hayden Christensen, and then George Lucas came out and he released the statement about why they changed it and blah 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 blah. I mean, for me, I prefer the version that the original release with Sebastian Shaw being,
because that's what you see in the final scene of like his death with the mask off,
and then they re-released it and they added a bunch of stuff that didn't need to be in there, and that's a whole other conversation. And obviously we're a wrestling video game podcast, so I don't want to spend too much time talking about Star Wars.
Too late.
I could. The long and short of it is this: people give Hayden Christensen flack for his portrayal of Anakin Skywalker because they said that he was annoying and irritating, and he was like an annoying little brother. Well, my opinion is that Hayden Christensen was supposed to be playing a teenager. And what are teenagers? They are young and annoying and angsty, and that's exactly what he did.
And he still got Natalie Portman.
If Hayden Christensen made you hate Anakin Skywalker as a teenager, then he did his job, because that's what he was supposed to be doing. He wasn't supposed to be this, amazing superhero-like character. Like, he's supposed to be this annoying teen who eventually becomes this badass Jedi Knight who eventually then turns to the dark side. Like, that was the whole arc the whole time. So that's just my opinion.
It sounds like wrestling, but okay.
Yeah.
All right, but I think I'm going to cut you. Oh, we did enough. We did enough Star Wars.
I was gonna compare it to like a wrestling, like you just said, like with wrestling. If there's a heel who you hate,
it's literally like Moose cashing in on Josh Alexander last night on Impact. Spoiler alert.
There you go.
But all right, what do you say we go to the mark out moment of the week?
Oh, I love it.
What's up, Game Marks? Are you trying to look your best while repping your favorite video game podcast duo? We know just the place. Head over to ProWrestlingTees.com/GameMarksPod to pick up your favorite GMP designs, including our various logo tees, Future Endeavor, the classic NES Pro Wrestling style tee, and of course, Mark the F out. Order today and receive a phone call from us. You never know who will pop in. That's ProWrestlingTees.com/GameMarksPod. Play it forever.
All right, so the mark out moment is just a segment where we put a highlight or a spotlight on the community. Anything that happens within our little Major Pod. You know what? We'll just say it's for the Major Pod Network. Things that happen within the world of wrestling and within this podcast network that we're a part of. Anything that focuses around wrestling or video games or anything of that nature. This will be the spot to talk about it. And if there's an individual that leaves a great review or has an awesome comment or question on social media, then those individuals will receive a Game Marks Podcast prize pack. But this week, we are talking about Gameboree 2021.
It's starting, guys. November 1st, we are going to launch Gameboree 2021. Now, we're going to do our normal spiel of next week when it drops. We're going to tell you all the details. We're going to put out our standalone Gameboree podcast, so we won't bore you with the annoying details. All we're going to say is it's going to be easier this year. We have a GoFundMe set up. Now, this is a GoFundMe that goes directly to St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, so they're not going to take out fees from it. It's going to all go straight in. The tiers are going to be a little different this year. Rather than unlocking prizes, the top 3 donors are going to get prizes sent to them, and we have some great sponsors on board that are going to supply the prizes, and we're also going to unlock, say, maybe a GMP64 Super Show live stream. Game Marks Mania is going to return. We need dates for these, and we will share them once we have them. But let's talk about these sponsors. Let's talk about the sponsors.
Take us through the first one.
So we do have some more in the works right now, and we're going to finalize them this week. But right now, our main sponsor is Secret Levels Podcast. think about us and our podcast we do, but now think about it in a broader spectrum. Think about it more with Mario, with Zelda, with all the older games that you grew up loving. They are going to cover all of that. Go give them a follow. Go check them out. That Secret Levels podcast. They are our main sponsor, and we love them. Now, second, another friend of the pod, Run-In Podcast. You see them all over the place. They sponsor some Blitzkrieg shows. They are everywhere. Go give them a follow. And now, I think, credit where credit's due. One of our good friends of the pod. He's a Patreon member. He's one of our friends.
Sure.
He is, you hear him mention in GMP64. Best Batch Promotions is coming on board as a sponsor. And listen, he works with a lot of wrestlers. He has a lot of 8x10s. He has a lot of cool merch that is signed. He's going to help us with some prizes this year. And we're going to make it all worth it so we could donate as much as we can to St. Jude and maybe top that $1,000 mark we reached last year.
I am very, very excited for everything that we got planned for this year's Gameboree. A huge, huge shout out and a huge thank you to all of the sponsors. And again, these are just the big three. We're not done. There are going to be more that are announced as we get closer and closer. And obviously, the more that we get into Gameboree 2021, the more information that we will have in terms of where we are. The more information that we will have in terms of how much money we raised, what tiers we've unlocked, when Game Marks Mania is happening. And we say this every year. This is probably the best thing that we do. It is a labor of love, and it's for one of the greatest causes. And I don't think there's a better use of our time around this time of year than raising money for St. Jude's.
Yep, we're going to run this till January 1st and see what we could come up with. We'll drop that link this week, and we'll be off running. The best part is GoFundMe will actually show you how much we've raised, so it's all going there. And also, our sponsors are donating as well, and they've already donated their share, and we cannot thank them enough. We're going to reveal that main number when we're all done with Gameboree, and I cannot wait to crack last year's.
But, John, is it time for us to, I don't know, we cracking the... How do you lead into this? You can't dive into a cardboard box here. I'm not really sure what we're doing here.
You've obviously never seen Small Soldiers. Let's go.
All right, so WWE Legends Royal Rumble card game released August 8th, 2020. Now, this is not developed. It's manufactured by Ravensburger. And other games that are out in 2020, New Japan Collection for the iOS and Android, and WWE 2K Battleground.
I figured we'd include that anyway, since we normally do. We just meet the criteria of a game being out over a year for us to cover it by it being in August, only a few months ago.
And it's not like they're going to be expansions
exactly,
and DLCs for this, so I think we're in the clear now.
Did you know that this game was a thing?
I feel like you and I had talked about it when it first came out, and we were like, oh, this is cool. Maybe we'll do a bonus episode about this. And then, like, either you said it to me or I said it to you. We went, oh, that would be cool. And then never talked about it again.
Sounds about right. But let's talk about Ravensburg for a second, because if you've ever purchased like a puzzle or like a branded puzzle, something with a license on it, maybe like Disney or something, typically it's Ravensburg. They do a lot of also Ravensburger. They also do a lot of like 3D puzzles, which are kind of cool, like castles and such. So I guess they kind of know what they're doing when it comes to like board games and puzzles, etc. So I'm excited to crack this baby open and talk about it in a little bit.
Oh wow, 3D. Oh, I definitely know these 3D puzzles. I've absolutely seen them before. Yeah. This is awesome. All right, so John, are you ready to crack open this game?
I'm ready.
All right. Now, while you are cracking open this game, I want to say that on the box of this game, the description for this game is: enter the ring as a WWE legend and face off against your rivals in the WWE Legends Royal Rumble card game. Use electrifying attacks and signature finishing maneuvers to eliminate your opponents. New legends enter the Rumble as others are thrown over the top rope. Can you survive the brawl to remain the last legend standing? 2 to 10 players, 30 to 45 minutes of playtime, and the game is rated for ages 8 and up, which means, John, you just make the cutoff.
We're good. We're good. All right, so we're going to put this on YouTube, guys. So if you want to see what we're talking about, we're going to have it there. First off the bat, we're going to get deep into this artwork later. I love the cover. I love the back. It's recognizable. You're in the store. You see it. You're going to know what this is. Now,
I was just going to say, there is nothing that makes you think that this could be anything other than something associated with wrestling. You see the WWE Legends logo on there. It says Royal Rumble. You got Macho Man, Ultimate Warrior, Booker T, Razor Ramon, and Ric Flair on there. It screams wrestling.
Yeah, and I know if I was in the store looking in like the toy aisle, this would grab my eye. I have not seen it in a store, surprisingly, unless I don't know. I frequently do look at like the board games and stuff to see what's on sale. So, I got a house now. I got to stock up on board games for game night. It can't all be Cards Against Humanities, right? You know what this reminds me of? That game the trivia game that WWF put out. There's 2 versions. There's the Attitude and there's like the Golden Era version. And the Golden...
Oh, where like all the cards in that are like considered people's rookie cards.
Crazy.
You know what's sad? When all of that was happening and I saw the tin, I was like, oh, I had that at some point.
Yeah.
I was just like, oh, I don't think I've ever played this. And I was just like, I'll just throw it away.
Yeah, so I had the Attitude one, and I actually brought it to Cap as trivia cards because we used to use them for like how many laps you would run, how many questions you get right.
Oh, okay.
So Brian had the Golden Era ones, and I brought the Attitude ones in. But I don't know. I might still have the actual like face cards. All right, but here we go. I'm unwrapping. What are these here? These are nice cards. These are the action cards. They're a little flimsy. But you can see they got the nice... Oh, where are we? The nice logo on the front, and then the back has pretty cool graphic.
Oh, yeah, it's very similar to what you see on the box art.
Yeah. So, there's a lot of these.
So they're using that like...
there's some doubles.
Classify this font as... it's like a brush?
Yeah, it's everything from the font.
Grunge. Yeah, but that's... You gotta say this. At least it's consistent branding and font usage throughout the whole game. It's the same typeface that you see on the front package, and like you said, these cards are super, super cool looking.
So there's doubles, and like some of these, like Dropkick, there's 3 of these. Power Leg Drop, which is the Undertaker. I'll show you here. So there's a few of those as well. I guess as you go, they get a little more. Oop, I dropped one. Don't need it, dog. As you go on, they get more rare. These are pretty cool, I gotta say. It's like Body Slam, Atomic Drop, DDT. Of course, it's Jake doing the DDT. You got a Vader Lariat. That's pretty cool.
Oh,
I like that. Oh, I know there's a Sting one in here. I just gotta find it. Here, this one. Full Nelson. That's good. It's got our man, the Warlord, on it. Full Focus. Remember this match? This was a good one. Good feud.
Oh, yeah.
Nice undisputed title.
Oh, yeah.
We got Shawn Michaels Splash. We got a nice Bret Hart card there. These are nice.
The Stinger card's nice. They used a great shot for him.
Yeah, so I think that's in the red pack I'm about to open.
And the I don't think we touched on this. The cards are color coordinated.
Yes.
So it's
pink. This pack's pink and blue. The one I just opened. These are the action cards.
And then I think there's a red card for...
Yeah, so this is red. The first one is Chop. It's got Flair about to chop Roddy Piper, and you know that's about to hurt.
And then they're also categorized by a star rating for, I guess, the amount of damage or how effective the move would be.
Yeah, so we got Chop. We got that nice... Oh, there's a lot of these. So I guess these are more common. All right. Take a look at that clothesline that Warrior's giving right there. That is stiff as hell. You know, he just murdered. Yeah. He just gave someone lockjaw on that.
Good Lord.
Speaking of, Look at this Andre punch. Look at that
the wind up.
Look at that wingspan. These are beautiful. Got some Yokozuna. We got, okay. We're getting into the Attitude Era here. Got Austin and Mankind. I like that it's spread out. They're Austin and Kane. Here's a corkscrew from Bam Bam Bigelow. Oh. These are nice. These are really nice. And here we go.
Yeah, and it's like good. It's good design with like good. There he is.
There's the stinger.
The cards are. It's a really nice design, and the use of the photography is like framed.
Yeah, you know what?
Like it's not like they're not like blown out, and they're not cropped weird. Like how like sometimes you get like a trading card or a game card, and they're like it's like cropped awkwardly, so you're not getting the full effect of it.
Yeah. So you know what? They don't normally use like 99 Sting for stuff, and I'm noticing.
Yeah, I was just saying it's a good Sting card. But then wait till you get to his actual exactly. His character card. It's nice.
These are nice. I like these a lot. But then you have with a chair, just a chair card.
Just a chair, because you need
You need the chair.
Everybody needs a foreign object.
All right. So then these are cool. What is this? So I guess you punch this out. We're going to get into the instructions in a little bit, but that's a nice whatever the hell it is.
Oh, I think that's a stand?
Maybe. Now we have defense cards. And I see a nice photo on the back of one of these. Look at this.
Oh, man.
There's the dead man. Oh, okay. We're gonna run through these after that. There's all of our wrestler cards. All right.
Okay, yeah. So that'll be our roster breakdown that we do.
Yeah. So then there's more action cards where there's actually blocks, like defense. Like you have a blocked kick. You take control. Here's another 99 Sting. Really weird. I guess that was his best era. I enjoyed that era.
At least they're using good shots. You can't be mad about that.
Right. Finished them off. Nice Shawn Michaels shot. So these are cool. I like that they're all a little different so you could actually see. Oh, here we go. Intervene.
Ooh.
Which side she gonna choose? Miss Elizabeth.
Ooh.
Between Macho Man and Hulk Hogan. We all know what that's from. And this one's cool too. A little Bobby Heenan. Distract the ref. So they really thought this out and put everything in here. So this is very different from that trivia game, actually. I thought it was going to be something like that. Now, what are these? Legend Pluck Card. They're a Legend Pluck Card.
What?
Pluck Card.
Oh, Placard.
Legend Captain Placard.
Jean-Luc Placard.
So is that supposed to be play card? And that's the proper... I doubt they made a mistake.
I guess. Or maybe it's like an exclusive term to the game.
These are bigger. These are double the size. Almost completely double.
Is it placard?
It's placard, yeah.
It's just, I was spelling it out in my head. I'm like, wait a second, that's a word.
So, okay, so these are, I'll flip them. These are the Legends cards. They're bigger. We still don't know what we do with them. These are really nice. Yeah, there he is.
Oh, yeah, right. Like, that's a good shot of Sting.
It's a great shot of Sting. I'm glad they didn't go with the typical, old school WCW promo shot that everyone uses.
Oh, I would have thought that they were going to 100% use,
even this Hogan.
Triple H feud Sting.
Yeah, they even use this Hogan, 80s Hogan.
Oh, see? This is good. This is a good choice of
Goldberg.
Photography.
Dusty. All right, so this one, they used, I guess, more modern Eddie.
Yeah.
2005 Eddie, when I guess they could have. And here's even a newer Booker, which I get it. That's what he's known for in the WWE.
King Booker. That could be King Booker.
Okay, so this one gets me a little bit. This is a Mankind card. I know you're not going to be able to see it well, George, because we're on a webcam.
Sacco?
It looks like a video game render. Something about it's just not Like it's
airbrushed. It may be. I'll say it could be airbrush. It could be like a composite.
Yeah.
Or like you said, it could be maybe one of the like re-render shots that they use for like the cards in.
Look at Mark Henry. Look at him smiling. What a dude. I love Mark Henry.
It could be one of like the renders that they use for the video games, where they use like the real life photography.
Yeah.
And then they just like airbrush it to all hell, so there's no texture or definition.
Which is funny because he's wearing a mask. You don't really need to do that. All right, I'm going to put some of these back quick. I like when a game comes with slots so you can like keep it organized. And then I want to go through the other cards because these...
Oh, placards.
These are wrestler cards, but they have moves on the back, which is cool. So I know this is a visual podcast, which is why we're recording this on video as well. So check it out if you want on youtube.com/GameMarksPodcast, and you'll see it all. So, like, say here, we'll do this one for our buddy Will. Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
Ho!
Great card. It's the same as the bigger Legends card, but on the back you have 3-point stance clothesline. So I guess that's his signature move on the back.
Now, does it should say under his picture that what the signature is.
If this hits, you may discard any number of cards, then immediately draw back to 6 cards. So again, we're going to read through the instructions in a bit, and we'll make sense of this all. Like the Macho Man, we'll show this side first, then we'll go to the back.
What a shot for that
nice
elbow
drop, right? Flying elbow drop cannot be blocked or dodged. Okay. We got the figure 4. Look at that figure 4. All right, you know we got to go to Stings, right?
Oh, of course.
Oh, wait.
I knew it was coming.
Did you know Big Dave was in here?
Oh, I mean, I guess it makes sense.
And we got a Batista bomb.
It's Legends of the Royal Rumble, and
yeah. Look at this beautiful stunner on Kane.
Oh, that's a good
I'm
shot.
glad they didn't use typical stuff here. Yeah, they actually like dove in.
They're using like
the Eddie Frog splash.
Really good stills.
I'm also filming this on my new iPhone, so we get better visuals as well. These are all really cool. The scissor kick. We got a sharpshooter on Jerry Lawler. That's really nice.
Yeah. Oh, they've got the leg drop from Taker, like the apron leg drop.
Let's find that. All right, now you know damn well this hurt. Goldberg's spear on Bam Bam.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
We'll ask Bobby Lashley about that. Look at the Hogan leg drop. Have you ever seen him get up that high?
I mean, the camera angles back then.
Damn.
You're not seeing the height on that, but man.
Where is it?
The lower back problems and the spinal fusions and all that he's had to go through all make sense now when you see
the Lloyds of London deals.
Yeah.
Look at that stinger splash. That's beautiful. Oh yeah, wow, look at this. Nice choke slam on the Undertaker from the Undertaker to Kane. All right. Overall, I'm impressed here. They didn't use the typical WWE stuff that they normally, they didn't WWE it. Is that a word?
These kind of look better than like some of the like Topps cards.
I'll say this though, this is an issue that I see. I said the cards are very flimsy. This one's already starting to bend and all I did was move it.
Yeah, well, because you gotta also remember that it's cards for a board game. These aren't like the top street.
Yeah,
cards.
but like you want your Monopoly cards to look nice, your railroads and whatever.
Well, it's a nice middle ground between a playing card and Monopoly money.
Yeah. All right, so let's kind of skim through these instructions here. The contents of this: 30 Legends placards, 30 signature cards, 1 WWE Legends token, and 150 action cards. Playtime is about 30 to 45 minutes. I think you said that already. Yep. How to play: all players go at the same time. The game is played in rounds. Each round includes the following steps: plan, attack, reveal, end turn. Interesting.
So I'm guessing that WWE logo. It's got to be like a coin flip because it's double-sided.
So the amount of players that you play with are the amount of legends that you actually use. So you shuffle the legend placards and randomly deal one face up to each player, and then give them the signature card that goes with their legend. Place the remaining legend placards and signature cards face down on the side of the play area, and shuffle the action cards and deal 6 to each player. Honestly, this is a little confusing. Whoever watched the WWE match most recently revealed. Wait, what? Whoever watched a WWE match most recently receives the Legends token and goes first. The player with the Legends token is called the title holder. So now, starting with...
It's kind of like when you play Cards Against Humanity. It's what's the rule for who starts? It's whoever pooped last or whatever?
Something like that. Sometimes you don't get this in instruction books, but you actually get visuals. And they circle things and such.
How many card games, how many board games have you tried to play where it's just like
that black and white paper?
Or it's just like the same style card as all the other playing cards, and that's where all the instructions are, and it's just like a double-sided card of instructions.
Not too long ago, we went upstate, and our friend brought Jumanji, and we haven't played that since we were little kids. And
oh boy,
the instructions were so confusing, but it was so much more simpler than what they were writing on like the little instruction paper, that like once we started playing, we're like, they could just say it this way. But regardless, you start with the title holder and proceed clockwise, and each player chooses an attack card and places it face down. Now you could add a boost to it, and if the player does not have any attack cards or doesn't want to attack that turn, they may take a breather and discard any card they don't want from their hand. Kind of like Cards Against Humanity. It's kind of got that feel to it.
While I'm also doing research on this game, I found that there was a video. I put it in our in the show notes. So if you're a Patreon member, you'll be able to see it within the show notes. But also, we'll post it on social media so you guys can see it. Ravensburger North America YouTube channel actually has a video that they released on that they actually live streamed on August 1st of last year, 2020.
Cool. And
where they actually run through the instructions, explain how to play it, and all of the comments on the video are just like, this video makes it so much easier to understand how to play.
I don't really even want to go through the instructions too deep because it is kind of confusing, but pretty much you put your attack, you put your legends, and then it's like, what's that game? Bullshit, maybe? Or like, fuck the dealer? And I think I'm thinking of the wrong card game where everyone flips at the same time. I don't know. I mean, it could be like the river in poker too.
Yeah. So there's another game called shit, I can't remember it.
So the boost cards are the purple, the signature cards are the gold ones with the wrestlers on them, and then you could use like the defense, and pretty much you get eliminated like the Royal Rumble, and eventually you get to the last man standing when there's no more legends to draw, so everyone's eliminated. And if you go back to the front page, 30 legends, so that makes sense with a Royal Rumble game. So good on them for attention to detail, and when there's no more legends, you win. You're the last man standing, and there's no WrestleMania game for the winner to go play after this. But
yeah, so true to form, just as advertised on that live stream that they did. The video itself, it is 32 minutes long.
Damn.
So it's them introing. They explain very briefly how they're going to run through the game instructions wise, and then they play it. And just like it says on the box, they say it could take anywhere between 30 to 45 minutes. So, two people playing took 30 minutes. I think that's as advertised, which is a good thing to see, where it's not super short and that the rules are like overly complicated. So it was a good watch.
Yeah, and we'll say this, we did plan on doing that, but some scheduling conflicts and whatnot, we plan on...
It's coming.
Yeah, we plan on doing a full playthrough with friends of the pod, and we will put that out. But I think I'm going to press stop here, and we'll move on now. So what do you say we read what legends are in this game after a word from our sponsors?
All right. All right, John. Well, you did the hard part of breaking down the ins and outs of that packaging, so I figured I will do the honors here and read off these cards. So there are 150 action cards, 30 signature cards, 30 legend placards, 1 champion token, and obviously the instruction booklet. Now, for your roster cards, you have Andre the Giant, Batista, Booker T, Bret Hart, Davey Boy Smith, Diesel, Dusty Rhodes, Eddie Guerrero, Goldberg, Honky Tonk Man, Hulk Hogan, Jake Roberts, Jerry Lawler, Hacksaw Jim Duggan, Junkyard Dog, Kurt Angle, Mankind, Mark Henry, Mr. Perfect, Randy Savage, Razor Ramon, Ric Flair, Rick Rude, Shawn Michaels, Steve Austin, John.
Sting.
Go ahead. Thank you. Ted DiBiase, The Iron Sheik, The Ultimate Warrior, and The Undertaker.
Oh, man. This is a who's who of Hall of Famers and legends. And it's kind of a good mix of like kind of new, like Kurt Angle and Booker T, like newer Hall of Famers and older ones. It's great. I love to see it.
It's a very, very nice mix. It's pretty much what you would expect to see nowadays in like the 2K series of games. You get that nice mix of the legends from, you know, multiple different decades and generations, which is cool. You know, it's nice to see that not only in a actual like console wrestling release, but also here in this tabletop card game.
Yeah, and I mean, as the Sting nerd here on the podcast, I got to say this might be one of his last merch pieces, a WWE brand.
Ooh, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
Now we already briefly talked about this artwork here. You see the WWE Legends logo, the Royal Rumble card game featuring 30 legends of WWE. You have Macho Man, Ultimate Warrior, Booker T, Razor Ramon, Ric Flair on the cover. I mean, it's a top-down shot of a wrestling ring.
Wait a minute. You say a top-down shot of a wrestling ring. This is a Hasbro ring. This is a used-up, like, you know, like it has the grunge effect on it, like a used-up kid's Hasbro ring.
Yeah, you're
the red, white, and blue with the blue base. I just Googled it. It's got the, like, plasticky-looking turnbuckle pads. Damn, Ravensburger. Attention to detail.
Right.
Attention to
details. That's good.
You know what bothers me?
What?
The Royal Rumble logo. That's not a real Royal Rumble logo. That's just brush font, like you said before.
Well, because this is the Royal Rumble card game logo.
But like, I don't know, put the Royal Rumble logo in there, an old one, a new one.
Which one?
They've looked the same for the past like 5 or 6 years. So
no, but like you have the current one, which is the white Royal Rumble font with like the red stripe through it.
Use a Legends one.
But then Batista never wrestled at that Royal Rumble with the gold.
He also never wrestled under this WWF logo.
It's true.
So it could go either way. I don't know. Just something. I get it, but maybe make it a little more recognizable as a Royal Rumble game. But
maybe like a combination.
I'm just being picky.
Yeah. On the back, you have that. The logos again, that little blurb that I read earlier about using electrifying attacks and signature finishing moves to eliminate your opponents. And then you see the card game laid out. You see the signature moves. You see the actual wrestlers. You've got that little championship title icon. What was that called?
What makes you the title holder? It's called the Legends token.
Yeah, you see the Legends token, and it's cool. You know, it's laid out on the canvas of a wrestling ring. You know, judging by how far the ring ropes are, this was either shot with a fisheye lens or this is the world's largest wrestling ring. It's cool though. It's still in line with the front of the box. You know, it definitely reads as a wrestling card game. It's cool. It's interesting. It's fun. You know, it's for 8 and older. So, you know, if I'm like 8 or 10 years old walking through the store with my mom and I see this, I'm like, oh, this is cool. This is wrestling. Like, you know, there's no debate about it. You know what it is.
Let's give a quick shout out here. The back of the book, the little booklet in here says graphic design by Sam Dawson. Good job, Sam Dawson. Now,
oh yeah, Sam Dawson.
I'm on samdawson.com. And this is not the only board game he's worked on, George. Because there's also some Star Wars stuff here.
Oh.
There's Guide to Groot, which is one of those kids' electronic books that where you press the numbers on the side and like it speaks.
Oh, yeah.
There's some books here, Star Wars, The Rebel Files.
On the front line.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff here. There's a lot of stuff here. I like it.
Marvel paint by numbers.
Mythological beasts. These look familiar. I've seen these before. George, I might just like reach out to him and thank him for Thank you for the house, brother. Thank you.
Oh, man, this is...
Some Avengers paint by numbers. This is cool.
Yeah.
Good job, Sam.
So make sure you go and check out samdawson.com.
It's something we don't normally touch on, like the graphic designer of these, but I guess since it's a board game, it's more prevalent, and we see how beautiful this is. And obviously, me and George, as graphic designers ourselves, appreciate this a lot. And
what? We never mention that, ever.
No. Yeah. Go check out samdawson.com. You might have done some stuff that you know about. But okay, we kind of touched on the art style already of these cards themselves. They're vibrant, beautiful, grungy, nice pictures. They chose the best pictures they possibly could. I was going to do a Did You Know? But it's a board game, so there's really, honestly, not much. But I'll say this. Did you know? And did you know this game is available on Amazon, Target, and various other stores for only $19.99?
Wow, what a bargain price. Good deal for this board game.
Yeah, and you know what? It was Prime. So when I purchased it, it came the next day.
Fantastic. All right, so this is normally the part where we put on the soothing music and you read through the ratings and the reviews and we talk about Metacritic and the 0.25 ratings and that. But this is a board game. It's a card game.
But guess what?
What do you got for
There's ratings
reviews this time?
There's ratings. Kick back, put your feet up.
Ooh, okay.
It's time for some ratings and reviews. All right, Target.com has this rated 4 out of 5 stars. We're already off to a great start. BoardGameQuest.com with a 3 out of 5 stars. BoardGameHalve.com with a 6 out of 10. BoardGameGeek.com with a 6.9, nice, out of 10. Amazon with a 4.6 out of 5. And Google Reviews with a 4.5 out of 5 stars. Now, I tend to lean more towards like the Targets and the Amazon here because it's actual users rating them rather than like Board Game Geek and whatnot, where you could, like us, like we could say play forever, future endeavor, but you should kind of go experience it for yourself and see if you actually like it. I feel like Amazon and Target and Google even, those reviews speak more towards if the game is like playable, if it's good.
I think that's a good basis for the reviews because at least from a Target or an Amazon or Google review, like you said, it's people who've actually taken the time to, play the game and whatever. It's not just like, well, the cards are wrong and I don't know what PLA cards are, so I don't like it.
I think they spelled play cards wrong. So this is normally where we say, you heard from the professionals, now it's time to hear from us. It's time to rate the games.
This is my favorite part. This is my favorite part.
I say we put this on hold since we didn't actually play the game yet. We just unboxed it. And when we do the playthrough with our friends of the pod, friends of the show, at the end of that, we'll make us and each of them give it the rating. Play forever, future endeavor.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. And, for those who are going to go and watch our YouTube for those who are going to go and watch the Clash at the Feast for this video, that'll be on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/GameMarksPodcast. Obviously, like John said, we will give our final rating there, but also next week, for those of you who do not want to watch that video, if you're not interested in watching what could very well be a 45-minute video of us playing a card game, we will touch on that next week and give the official ratings.
All right, but with that, let's talk about our weekly tournament, Clash at the Feast.
Oh, baby.
All right, so like we said, this week we're going to be posting it sometime next week, Clash at the Feast for Royal Rumble, the card game with friends of the pod, but we're going to talk about last week, WWE SmackDown versus Raw 2009. George came in hot. He picked Finlay because he wanted to see Hornswoggle come out from underneath the ring. I picked Jeff Hardy because, he kind of comes back to the SmackDown games, and he's just awesome. George wiped the floor with me within 3 minutes. This game was quick. And Finlay took the win. But now we ran it back. We kind of had...
Setting the stage for victory here, John.
We ran it back, but this time I chose CM Punk with Vincent Kennedy McMahon, and you picked Finlay with Hornswoggle. And CM Punk took the win. Come on now. So now,
I just couldn't. I want to get Swago to come out of the ring. I was too focused on that.
So now we're at 1-1. And it's main event time. Hell in a Cell, which is actually one of our more highly praised Clash at the Feast matches. Multiple platforms, people talking all about it. Meltzer, everyone.
Ooh.
You picked Edge. So naturally, I had to pick the king of the Hell in a Cell, The Undertaker. And after multiple chokeslams on top of the cage, throwing each other off of the cage, hitting each other into the cage, you finally took your last ride through the cage for your winner of week 3 of October. Johnny Clash, play my music.
Not everything's made to last. This is my life. This is my life.
So we're at 2-1 in October right now. We're gonna see what happens. We're gonna see what happens.
Now, okay. Hypothetically, it's you, it's me, it's 2 other people, friends of the shows, sit down, play the Royal Rumble card game. Obviously, I have full confidence that you and I will win, but in the off chance that we don't,
It's happened before, Swoggle.
And neither one of us win, we just decided in another game, right? Maybe we'll have the Mega Marks choose.
Yeah, or there's even game over, but why don't we talk about what we're playing next week, because maybe that'll settle it there. Maybe you'll beat me and we won't even have to go to that.
That is very true. Courtesy of Mega Mark Brett Van, we will be playing All Japan Pro Wrestling featuring Virtua.
I'm actually very excited because I did not know anything about this game, and it looks pretty damn good. This is a Sega Saturn game. This might be our first. This might be our only.
I feel like we've played one other Sega Saturn game, or at least played a game that was also on Sega Saturn, and I think you said the same thing then. This may be the only time.
Oh, well, WrestleMania Arcade and In Your House, those are on Sega Saturn,
Yes.
But we didn't play those there, yeah.
But I feel like you said the same thing then. Like, this may be the only time we talk about the Sega Saturn.
You just don't know.
Yeah, this is going to be a very interesting game. So this, just a little bit of history before setting up next week. So a little brief history before we jump into the game next week, just setting standards. Now, this is a All Japan Pro Wrestling video game that also features fighters from the Virtua Fighter series. So it's going to be cool. It's 12 wrestlers. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be kind of a different style of game that we play, because there's going to be real life wrestlers, some fake fighters from a video game series. So this is going to be an interesting take. I'm very curious to see what John's going to think about this one.
Yeah, well, see, I know nothing about this game. I'm ready to dive in. Is that it? Is that going to do it? Are we putting a bow on this one?
Man.
This, it's usually these games that end up being the fun ones, and like the I don't know, the more fun episodes for us, the games that we don't know. So it's kind of cool. Keep them coming.
Oh, absolutely. I'm looking forward to it. All right. Well, that's going to do it for us this week on the Game Marks podcast. Please check out all of our merchandise at GameMarksPod.com/shop, and join us on Patreon, patreon.com/GameMarksPod. It is the best way besides listening to support the podcast, and be sure to follow us on all forms of social media at GameMarksPod. Leave us a 5-star review and rating on Apple Podcasts, and make sure to subscribe to this podcast wherever you choose to listen. Thank you very much for hanging out with us this week. Cannot wait to post the Clash at the Feast video for this card game. John, I think it's time for you to do that thing that you do.
Game over, Marks.
Game Marks podcast, put them on the radar. Playing rare games, Sega Saturn, no game shark. Johnny and George work hard and they play hard. Future endeavor games and put them in the graveyard. From the deep dive to the Clash at the Feast. How can I get more? That's question of the week. Follow on Twitch, there's nothing that they won't play. Game Marks podcast every single Monday.